What's up guys, welcome back. In today's video we will talk about how I rented a Tesla through Uber. I will share with you my personal experience as well as how much that I spent. If you are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and like this video. You can also comment for any questions. I will try to answer everything as good as I can. So renting a Tesla through Uber was actually the way I got into Uber, because I never even really thought about or gave it a thought doing Uber. So I decided to purchase a Tesla Model 3, and that Tesla Model 3 unfortunately took a little bit longer than expected, and I had already traded in my car. And then I had to figure out, okay, what am I gonna do, where I'm gonna rent from, and that's when I got wind of this Uber rental program and was like, okay, I'm just gonna rent this Tesla because it's a pretty good option. And it was still cheaper than any other rental options. I would be able to maybe, I don't know, rent a Toyota on Enterprise for the same price. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get this Tesla, but I have to do some Uber rides. So knowing that, I got into the Tesla and then started some Uber rides. I was definitely a little bit terrified. I actually talked about this in my latest video. If you just want to rewatch it, I'm not gonna get too deep into the whole story right now. I will tag it up here. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it, how I got started. I actually ended up making a lot of money that same day, where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this on a regular basis. And then when I got my Tesla, I actually saw more benefits to it, because okay, now I own my Tesla, I'm saving money. But I have to tell you that even if I would be saving money at that time, the rental program is still a really good thing, because you are so independent. So if anything, I don't know, if you change your mind, if you're hey, I don't want this anymore, or hey, I'm gonna go on vacation for a month, or hey, I'm gonna move across the country right now, it's really convenient because you can just return a Tesla. Remember, it's just a rental, but you can still use it for your personal use. So for me, for example, I even went to California. I mean, I used to live in Las Vegas, which is maybe a 4-hour drive, so it's not that big of a deal. But I drove to Los Angeles and back using that Tesla, which is also very convenient. That's great. These were miles that I didn't put on my own car. It's definitely a really convenient way, but I feel we should definitely first talk about the pricing and then talk about the requirements, because I actually digged a little bit deeper into it the other day, and I saw that they actually have mileage requirements now. There are some conditions, so we can get into it. And while we are doing that, we can talk about my personal experience as well, comparing to whatever they say on the website and what it really is. So first things first, you would go on your Uber app. So if you are not an Uber driver yet and you are thinking about, hey, I might want to do Uber, I don't have a car, I want to get into this rental program, that's why you're watching this video right now, you can definitely use the link in my description, which gives you a bonus if you sign up with Uber. So definitely make sure you use that before you make an account. And then if you hit a certain amount of rides, you will receive a bonus. It really depends from city to city, but it will tell you after you signed up. First things first, you will go into your Uber app. So this is how it looks like for me. I will just fly it in right here. So you will go to your vehicles, and then you see that button here which says view rental options. So when you click on the view rental options, you do see a few rental options. For example, here you have a compact plus mid-size cars. I don't know, this looks to me like a Nissan Altima or something. $275 a week. Comfort eligible cars, $290 a week. Compact mid-size cars, $260 per week. And you got the Tesla right there through Hertz is $325 per week. So you can see that the prices are really close to another. So it's not really a big difference or anything. If you look at this is maybe what, a $50 difference in total from the cheapest to the most expensive, which is the Tesla. But you also have to remember, this is where I can give you my input, my personal input. When you drive in a Tesla, you will make more money than driving in a Nissan Altima. I'm telling you, it's really, because people love the experience. Even me personally, I called an Uber from the airport when I got back in town. I was in Vegas a few weeks ago, and I got back in town, called an Uber, and a Tesla Model 3 picked me up. So pretty much my own car picked me up. And it was so nice, sitting in the back. And that's when I finally understood. I was this is what people meant. When I was driving them, they were oh my God, this is so nice. It is really nice for them, and they are more likely to tip you. They're more likely to have a conversation with you. You will get you would you will give them information about the Tesla. Like, they love this experience, especially people that would never buy this or never like think about purchasing a Tesla. This is a great experience for them. And I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Whatever $50 you're paying more, you're gonna get 5 times back or even more. So that's something I can tell you. So if you're looking at another car and you're like, hey, but I can save $50 a week, you are not saving with that. So that's just my personal experience I can give you with that. Yeah, there are also a bunch of other options actually when I scroll down here. And yes, this is, oh, even Zipcard, $90 per day. I actually never tried that out. If anybody of you guys tried that out, make sure to like comment your experience. And there's actually something else which is called Get Around, and it's $4 per hour. I don't know what that will be and how that will work. But yeah, today we are getting into the Tesla rental through Hertz. Maybe we can save these for another day. So clicking on this, you can see everything. And you can also see that they have a promotion that you pay $280 after 7 weeks. So this is pretty much if you consecutive for 7 weeks rent a Tesla through Hertz, and then you will receive that discount. You will also have, here are the other requirements. You have to drive average of 30 trips a week for Uber in your Hertz rental. So 30 trips a week, what is that? 5 trips a day if you're driving 6 days a week, or maybe you can just do that in like 2 days. I mean, I used to maybe average like on a day when I really was out working for like 8 to 10 hours, I would probably get like 25 to 30 rides already in one day. So you can do that in one day. Obviously, like I was really like doing a lot of rides, and I also always do like shorter rides most of the time, like especially when I drive Uber X, like with the Tesla. So I mostly never did longer rides than that. Also because you have quests you can do. Like a quest is pretty much a challenge where, let's say, you get an extra 200 for 20 rides within this and this amount of days. So this is also another feature you have at all times and you can at all times use, which is amazing. So then it also says pay all weekly extensions on time, makes sense, stay current on maintenance requests, and keep the vehicle damage free. Okay, this is also something that happened to me when I first rented the Tesla. I was called to like a maintenance inspection, but pretty much it's not your car, so you are not paying for it. The only thing you have to do is you have to go into the shop they have, which is usually the location of the rental, and they have to inspect the car, and that's it. Because usually they would do something like that, like in between rentals, if it's a regular rental car. But I rented this car for 2 months. So after 6 weeks that popped up because I hit like 10,000 miles. So I had to do that. That's the only thing. I had to go out of my way. But I mean, it is what it is. Like on the end of the day, you're renting this for like a long time. You also like have to somehow take care of it. And that's how you do it. But you don't pay for it. You don't pay anything extra. Oh, before I forget, you also get bonuses for driving an EV vehicle. So there are certain bonuses. I don't know exactly what it is now. At that time when I was driving, I would just get $1 extra per trip driving an EV vehicle, but I'm not 100% sure what it is now. So I feel like this is something I would have to dig deeper to like give you guys the exact information. Then as well, I mean, that's pretty much it. I really just all this extra stuff that is here, like saving money on charging, all that stuff. It's pretty much just, you save money compared to gas. So that's pretty much what it is. You still have to pay the charging fee, whatever it is, like the same charging fee I'm paying now. Let's say with not driving Uber, it's the same you pay with driving Uber. There's not really discounts you get on the Tesla chargers, like Tesla superchargers itself. So that's just the reality. I don't want to give you guys whatever information it says here. And then pretty much the fee is, it says $325 a week, but we have to remember that there are also fees involved, right? Nothing is just whatever it says there. It's $325 a week and then plus insurance. So I can just go off what I used to pay, which was around $80 a week insurance, okay? So, and then plus the charging fees makes sense, right? Because even if you have a gas rental, you would have to pay gas, but you have to pay that besides whatever the rental fee is. And that would be pretty much it, I'm pretty sure. Here there's also an option for like a long range, which is pretty cool. But to be honest, you can go with the standard. Like, it's not gonna make a big difference. You pretty much have to charge almost every day anyways if you drive Uber full time. So this is not gonna make a difference for you. And yeah, and then now if I click on reserve, oh, this is what I meant too. I wanted to go down here because I told you guys can use this for your personal life, and I took a road trip. So I don't know if you guys are planning to take a whole road trip through the country with this car. So I just want to warn you that there is some conditions. Now, I don't know if they were also in place back then. Maybe I was one of the people that messed it up for people. I don't know. But here it says 30 trips don't exceed 1,200 miles, 50 trips you don't exceed 2,000 miles, and 100 trips you don't exceed 4,000 miles. But this is for each week, okay? So I pretty much can tell you, if you drive, like 15 trips a day in like 2 days, you have 30 trips, you can already drive 1,200 miles. So you can definitely go from like Las Vegas to Los Angeles and back, you know, like that's included in there. But obviously just don't like drive senseless to the country, not driving Uber with this car. I think you would definitely get in trouble with that, okay? So just letting you know. So I will just go on and click on reserve, so we see what else fees will pop up now. Here, vehicle solutions, okay, I'm gonna just accept that. So you don't reserve this as like a regular rental car. You literally just reserve the pickup, and then it goes 7 days. So it's a week, and then you extend it for a week and extend it for a week. So it's also not that it works like, hey, I'm gonna get this for like 3 days and then I'm just gonna return it. It doesn't work like that. It's always for a week, and you will always pay the week already ahead. So there's also no coming back from that. If you wanna return it like 3 days early, okay, you can do that, but you're still gonna pay for the whole week. So it doesn't make sense. So let's say I wanna pick it up tomorrow. I don't know, here, I guess. So now we have some extra fees here. There we go. $325, the tax is $22, other fees, $32, we don't know what the other fees are. The total is $379.21, and then optional daily insurance, that's the one I already mentioned earlier. So this was pretty much, for me, $80. If now we calculate this, here, $14.42 times 7, because you're renting 7 days. Even if you're like, oh, 2 days of those, I'm not gonna drive Uber, you still have to pay insurance. So this would now come out to $100.94, okay? So plus the total of $379.21, we are looking at $480.15 per week, okay? And this is without charging. Realistically, I can tell you, I don't wanna lie to you guys, I'm just gonna be brutally honest that you know what you have to pay. The same, I'm gonna be brutally honest what kind of money you can make with this. So I would pretty much say for the charging, you would have to, if you are actively driving Uber 8 to 10 hours a day, let's say 5 days a week, you would definitely charge at least 5 or 6 times. Depending where you are too, like let's say if you're in Las Vegas and it's hot like it is right now, I'm in Boston right now, so it's different. So in Las Vegas, you're definitely looking at a full charge every day, because you have to have the AC running on blast. Like you don't have people coming in your car sweating and then it's like hot in your car. Like you're not gonna do that. So the AC definitely drains your battery. When I was driving in the winter in Las Vegas and it was not that like hot as it is right now, it's definitely different. So it's not gonna drain your battery that much, but you're still gonna charge once a day. A full charge is probably, you're looking at like $20, $25, depends on what time you charge. So if you do that times 5, let's say $25 times 5, we are looking at $125, which we can add to this, which is now going to be $605.15. So this is pretty much the realistic amount you're looking at. So these $325 a week are just the base of the base, and then everything else. It's like you're booking a flight, okay? You're paying $300 for the flight, and then you need like $50 for the luggage and like $50 for the seat, and then taxes and this and this and this, and then you're looking at way more. So this is how it is. This is the realistic number. But now you have to think, okay, so now you have this car, which is a lot of money. If you multiply that on a month, you are looking at $2,420 a month. Okay, that's insane. Okay, that's really insane if you think about that for a car. But it is still a good entryway, because if you are thinking that you can make like in these like 5 days you are driving Uber, let's say, or how I would do it if I would have this car, I would probably drive like 7 days a week and just like push through until I get to the goal, whatever goal I set myself. So I would probably make, I don't know, about like $300 a day, something like that, $300 to $400 a day. I would say more 300. Let's just keep it on the lower end. Let's not like set it too high because maybe you're having a bad day or something like that. You're not really getting rides, but you can definitely make $300 a day. So you are looking at $1,500. So if I now go back, let me go back to the weekly one. Okay. So $1,500 a week. Okay. We're gonna minus that because we are now deducting like whatever income from expenses. Obviously, we still have to pay taxes. We all know that. Everybody's already in the keyboards. What about taxes? What about this? What about this? Okay, the taxes come later. So now we are looking at making $1,500. You're looking at $895 a week. So this is pretty much what you're looking at as for this weekly rental. Okay, so this is definitely a big amount. You use it as like an entry method when you're coming from, oh, I don't have a car at all. I'm spending a bunch of money on Ubers right now, because this is also what I kind of calculated for myself. I was spending a lot of money on like getting around or like renting a car elsewhere. So for me, it was a good solution and a good opportunity as well, because I have businesses on the side where I constantly have to like drop off UPS packages, USPS packages, have to run errands, have to go there. So for me, it was a really convenient way. I had this car. It was pretty much paying for itself. Literally, I'm telling you, the first day I was like driving this car, I think I worked about 8 hours. So I started at like 12 until like 8 p.m. So this was in Las Vegas, and I made like almost $400. I can definitely pull up the exact screenshot from this day, but this was great. I mean, it was my first time ever doing this. I had a lot of fun. It was great, like meeting people, you know, getting out the house, especially with the remote business I've been doing for so many years, like starting when COVID started. So this was really, really good. Obviously, a lot of people are looking at it like, oh, it's so expensive, like this makes like no sense, you should rather get like this and this. But it's like not everybody's in a position where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna buy a car cash. Or maybe some people don't have the credit to like afford to like buy a car right now, or even to be able to get in a decent car loan. So there's certain situations where this definitely helps out, especially to get started, I'm telling you, and especially to not have responsibility for a car, not to deal with the depreciation, not to deal with the maintenance, not to deal with any of these things. So it's definitely a good program. I will also have a bunch of helpful links in my description that will help you on your Uber journey. I did Uber for about a year in Las Vegas, and I will try to like share as much advice as I can, give as many tips as I can. As I always say, you can also follow me on my TikTok. That's where I post like almost every day about anything. And please feel free, if you have any questions, to drop them in the comments. I will try to like do follow-up videos, explain whatever is not clear. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Made a half a ticket out promotion. Shout out sushi sweet and keep me rolling. But if we get the out, we gotta smoke. Ride around with Drake, like we OVO.